Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Dennis Duke is my name. If you're new here, please make it a point to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on different social media platforms at Dennis Duke UG. As my cameraman can pan, just pan a little bit, I want to show them something. But this is not what we're going to talk about. But I just wanted to show you that there is a farmer in Rakai district doing exceptionally well. She quit her job, 3 jobs, of course, university jobs, and she decided to concentrate on rearing goats. Now, today we want to talk about how do you quit your job and start something in agriculture? What are the things that are involved, among many others? And the farmer that we're going to talk about today is none other than Grace Voge. So please stick around. See you in a bit. Let's start from this point. You quit your job 3 times. I don't know whether there were 3 or 4 or 5, but several times, just to start goat farming. How was that experience?
Okay, it was not an easy journey. I was teaching in 3 universities to start with. And one day, I decided enough was enough. And I said I want to follow my passion, which is farming. I came to the farm. I talked to my old mzee, asked for a piece of land. Obviously, like all dads, they always come out with all types of risks. My dad was like, the farm will flood, they will steal the goats, you'll not manage to come from Kampala, but I was determined. I only told him, give me a chance to start, then if I fail, I'll come back to you and I tell you I failed. So I started with goat farming. Okay. Yeah.
I know there are a couple of people out there that would love to quit their jobs, but they're still wondering, should I take this kind of risk like what Grace Voge did? I mean, you're one of a kind, you know that. I would never have thought of quitting my job except a few circumstances that led me. So do you advise somebody to quit their jobs to join goat farming or any other farming venture?
I would say yes and no at the same time. One, speaking from my own experience, the first 2 years were not easy. I was not earning much. Actually, time came when I was a little bit depressed. One of the mistakes I made, and I'm not shy to talk about it, when I was beginning, I started with goat farming, and later I added on matoke, that is banana farming. Why? Both of them, matoke and goats, they are monthly earners. They are monthly earners. They don't earn on a daily basis. So I had no income to help me run the farm and also sustain my own expenses as a person. So with that, I ended up with low. Basically, I was feeling so low because I didn't have money. So I would advise a person coming out, first make sure there is a stable flow of income. Or capital, enough capital to sustain you in the first 2 years when you're starting as a farmer. Okay. That time is very crucial because you need running capital, you need to pay salaries, you need to pay your own money to your salary, your own salary, you need to eat, your children must go to school. You can't put all that on hold, you get it? So I would advise somebody, first analyze and see how am I stepping from this to this. I, for one, I did it because I was really pushed to come out of the universities and start goat farming. Reason being, I was given a contract in those 3 universities. Only 2 universities were giving me money. And the other big university I expected a lot of money from, that money could hardly come. Okay. I was generally like unemployed. So I chose the hard part. So, but a person who is still employed somewhere there, first make sure those 2 years of you starting are covered with some money to make you run through that time.
So literally you're saying that before they quit, they should try to accumulate some money that even after quitting can sustain them for roughly around 2 years.
Yeah, okay. And then also maybe what I would also advise, I don't know how they call this okwerime in English, like you try to be economical. Some things you have to forego them. Okay. Like I used to drive. I had to park my car for some time and I would take a matatu to the farm because I would not afford the fuel of coming every weekend driving. That is roughly, by then it was 150,000 to and from. So I could not afford that. So some things you have to try to be economical. And what I did also, I put up, you'll see the makeshift house I put up. It was out of Wato because I realized There are some days I would want to come at the farm and I wouldn't make it back to Kampala. So I had to look for somewhere where to sleep. I came up with what basically use the little means, the little money you have to make things sustainable for you as to when you come to that time when you get enough money.
Okay.
Like you've seen, you'll see the water house, which I started with, but now I'm in a roofed house, which is big enough, which has everything inside. Okay. So start small till when you reach where you want to be, and you'll be happy as a farmer.
So by this, what should drive somebody? Should it be passion? Should it be the fact that they expect to get money out of this venture?
Out of farming, I would expect somebody to be driven by passion before money. There are those days when you'll earn literally nothing. Without passion, you may not be able to move on. Things may not be so easy. So passion should be the number one. The love for that something. That even if you lost 5 goats today, you'll not give up. You'll still buy other goats and do it again, and you learn from the mistakes you did. If my goats died, why did they die? What can I do better to improve on what made me fail? So it is all about, first is passion before the money comes. Like I told you, in the first 2 years, the money was not there. Actually, I, for one, I would go and sit in my banana plantation. It was well kept. It was looking so nice. It was glowing. So I would get my mat and sit in my banana plantation, and I start convincing myself that maybe out of this bunch I will get 10,000, and this I can start calculating the money as I wait for the money to come.
Okay. Somebody would wonder, how much are we talking about that somebody should save up, maybe that can sustain them for that long?
For that long, it depends on what particular project you are going for. That is one. It also depends the distance from where you are coming from. It also depends on what magnitude. For like I, for one, when I was starting, because I started with around 30 goats. So all I needed was a salary for one person. At that time, I was paying 100,000. So I'd make sure at least the first 6 months I have the 600, the salary, plus the food for that person. And also the school fees, depending, that one is a hard question to answer. It all depends on where somebody is coming from. Yeah.
Grace, there is a problem in the country. I don't know whether it's a problem or a challenge, but a lot of us want to retire and go into farming. And you know the retirement age usually is between 40, 50, 60, 70. When perhaps somebody is tired and weary and they are really not very energetic as I am right now. Why didn't you have to wait until then?
One, the circumstances pushed me. Two, I've always had this passion from as young as 7 years. Actually, I thought if I couldn't make it as a farmer, I would be a great criminal lawyer. Okay. So I chose farming because I really loved what I was doing. I'd tried prior to farming goats. I'd farmed goats before. I was working as a sub-county chief somewhere in Sembabule district. And I used to use somebody's land to farm goats, and I'd seen how they were earning, how much money people were making. By then, the time we were farming goats, we never used to vaccinate. We never used to spray the goats every day. So the money we used to put in was little, and we were earning a lot. Unlike now, it's not so much, but can easily sustain somebody if somebody has decided to do it full time. Okay. Yeah.
So you're trying to say that people shouldn't wait until when they are extremely old?
Actually, I wouldn't advocate for that. Reason being, your capacity to be creative lowers down if you are older. Right now, my phone is my witness. I read a lot about goat farming. I use a lot of my phone, which most people cannot do at the older age. And reason being, there is also room for more risks. If you are younger, you can easily adapt, you take well a risk. Unlike when you have gotten your NSSF money and it's all you have, you are investing in goats and all the goats die at once, chances of you dying are very high. Okay. But at my age, if I invested something, like last season, I invested in 10 acres of Irish potatoes and they all failed to come out. But I've planted new matoke there. I'm not giving up because I still have room to make more mistakes. Unlike somebody who is already old, it's not good.
You talked about something that is very interesting. Government recently lowered the average age of somebody getting their NSSF money? And I know a lot of people who are out there, running up to get this money. Is it a good thing to invest in agriculture, and particularly in goat farming?
Okay, it is good. At the same time, it's also bad. It also depends where you're getting from. Have you done enough research about what you're going to invest in? Do you have enough expertise? Do you have enough knowledge about what you're going to invest in? So I wouldn't stop somebody from investing in goats. But first understand, Duke, I've had scenarios where you supply somebody goats at the farm. When you supply them goats and they call you, they say, Madam, my goat has flu. When is the gestation period of a goat? You literally see somebody who has no idea about what he or she is going into. You get it? So to avoid all that, before you invest in something, please seek for knowledge. How do you seek for that knowledge? Visit experienced farmers. Don't be afraid to move long distances. I always tell people when I was starting goat farming, I took a bus because I could not have money for an air ticket. Right now I can afford an air ticket, but before I never used to afford an air ticket. So I took a bus to Naivasha to check out the goats in Naivasha. How are they doing it? How are they looking after 1,000 goats? I want to have 300 goats. How am I going to make it? So don't be afraid to search for knowledge. Use this phone to help you as a farmer. Don't use it for only WhatsApp and Facebook and also check out beautiful pictures of people. No. Use it in a way that is going to help you as a farmer. Ask questions. And one of the mistakes, what I've realized with farmers, what they do, instead of asking the real experienced farmers, people go to marketeers. A marketeer will tell you what they want they want you to hear because they want to sell to you something. So go to somebody with experience. You want to buy rabbits. You want to start rabbit farming. Go and visit Duke. Go to Duke's farm and learn about rabbits. Yes. Instead of going to somebody who is marketing rabbits with no idea how that rabbit came out to be at that farm. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying it's a good idea investing your NSSF money, and then at the same time it may not be a good idea.
What I'm trying to say, first prior to getting that money, it's just like getting a loan from the bank. Before you get a loan, have a clear outline of what you're going to use that money for. Don't first get the money, and then you plan for it. It does not make sense. You are going to suffocate in debts. You are going to burn all your money in no time. First plan and say, if I'm to construct a goat house, it should not exceed 7 million. If I'm to invest in my stock of goats, they should be at least 10 to 15 million. But because some people don't interact with others, you find somebody has constructed a goat house of 17.5 million. You get it? And he's putting goats of 1 million in the goat house. So that means he didn't do thorough research. You walk into somebody's farm, somebody has a pharmacy of drugs because that person is using marketeers instead of using professional vets to help him stock their farms at the farm.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this is the first session that we've had, or if at all you're watching it after you've watched the other one, it could be the second to you. So this was just a preamble of how you can actually quit your job and start up any agricultural venture. But because she's into goat farming, we decided to focus more on goat keeping. So let's now go into the real gist of how to start a goat farm in our second episode. See you.